Top of the morning, man. It's the morning time for me. Nice Saturday. We got our first ever SladeTV Market Watch. Now, I've been thinking about doing this for quite some time. To anyone who's still subscribed to my channel, thank you. For anyone new here, I have definitely been making YouTube videos for a long time. Took a crazy gap. That's kind of my thing. I don't know if you guys remember, but my slogan was the most consistently inconsistent content creator. So I have been consistent and active on other platforms. It's just I feel like the YouTube long format vibe was kind of dying down, and I'm gonna try it again because I feel like these market watches are low-key more enjoyable and better digested in a longer format. And I do spend an unhealthy amount of time on TCG Player looking at prices of cards because I've fallen into the vortex that is the One Piece trading card game. Now, I'm probably only going to stick to these. As far as, if you know me on this channel from before, it was primarily all Yu-Gi-Oh! Just a huge fan of One Piece in general, the show, the manga, everything. So I kind of just told my boys, like, yo, why are we playing Yu-Gi-Oh? We weren't even really enjoying it, and why don't we try One Piece? We did, because I used to collect it. I don't know if you guys will, if you go back on my videos, you'll see I uploaded an unboxing or two here and there a year ago. I pulled a manga Ace, which was fire, and that kind of was my intro into this like abyss of the trading card world, where collecting heavy, playing heavy definitely takes up a lot of time. But just wanted to give a little intro for anyone, any new people coming to the channel. I'm thinking about doing these maybe once or twice a month. I feel like that's appropriate for a market watch style video, and everyone adds kind of their own sazon, their own formula to the market watch archetype. I'm just gonna go through it how I always go through it, which is I wake up, not literally like every morning, but I wake up, or when I get on, I go to shop all right here, and then I just sort it from high to low, and I kind of look through it. That way. So I'm gonna make my thumbnail thing a little smaller, and let's see if I can make this a little bigger. Nope. This is probably gonna be the cap. I should have set it to the window vibe. It's all good. We'll get it next time. So guys, let's dive into it. Let's look at some prices. Let's get our thoughts. And the one you always got to start with is that boy, the manga Luffy. Now, 2,700 is still kind of a crazy, insane price. I'm not gonna lie, but I think this is the floor for this card, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Eustace Kid and the Law mangas, which are from the same set, they all have the same pull rates, but those two are like absolutely in the mud. They're like $600 to I think they're both like around the 600 price point. We'll see in a bit. But for the fact that this is 2,700 during a time period where OP05 has been absolutely printed into oblivion, like when I tell you, like, there is more than enough to go around for everybody, there's more than enough. I don't think anyone who wanted OP05 and couldn't get it can't get it now. I think it's at that point where I think every set except OP03 and OP04 are in that capacity right now. If you wanted it, you can now get it, which was the point of the reprints, which was the point of PRB01, and we'll talk about PRB01 in a bit. But 2,700, this is probably the floor for this card, and I'll never forget when I was ripping a case of OP05 when it first came out. I didn't pull the signature, I didn't pull the Luffy, let alone any of the other mangas, and I saw this card for 1,800. At the time, 1,800 was still kind of insane to pay for a piece of cardboard at the time. Little did we know things were going to shift. monumentally very shortly. But I was like, all right, I'll scoop this card when it goes down to like 1200. I feel like 1200 for like being irresponsible is still kind of reasonable. This is a subjective like take on the matter, but for me that's like kind of where I was at. And it never went down. I remember it got to a point where the raw card was like almost 4K, and then I just kind of waited for it to get into like the 3500 range, and I pulled the trigger, trying to negotiate, the typical off TCG 85%. So, okay, I'm going to try not to get sidetracked too much. I'm going to try to have a hard stop at 20 minutes for this video, just because it's tougher to listen to someone new ramble on. But, hey, if I'm interesting, maybe you guys will come back for a part 2. Now, this super pre-release winner, this has been kind of at this price for a while. There's also not many sales, but wow, the last one was around this price in April. So he's kind of been sitting at that same price point. It's kind of crazy how that one sale has determined all the sales since that time, because whenever I'm on Facebook Marketplace or something, everyone's kind of basing it off this price. So it kind of goes to show how powerful the sales on TCG are. What you're willing to pay and what people are willing to pay will actually dictate the price of things. So yeah, see, a case of OP04 being $2,000 means it didn't really get reprinted. Had a feeling. Let's go to Manga Shanks. I actually don't own this bad boy. I kind of want this card to go a little lower. Do I think it will? Not sure, because OP01 has also gotten like a full capacity reprint as much as it could. I don't think they reprinted it as much as the others, but nor do I think they really needed to. Yeah, 1300 is a calm price. I think it'll go down a little more. We have verified sales at 14, and no one else is really buying now. So, I'm hoping to pick one up for around 900. Off negotiating a little bit. That's kind of gonna be my target range. Case of OP05 being 1500 is absolutely criminal, and I'm gonna tell you why. It is probably one of the biggest gambling boxes I've ever seen in a TCG. The problem is the chase cards that statistically are 1 in like every 3 cases are worth the price, but it doesn't really happen for most people. It's good. I believe in having a positive mindset, but I'm also a bit of a realist. Buying a case and going into it thinking you're going to pull a manga Luffy, and this is from experience, I've personally done this, is a grave mistake. So, like, if you are already willing to commit like 1500 towards this card, and I get it, pulling it is just so much sweeter. I'm there. If you go down my channel, you will see it. I have like gone through the rabbit hole of ripping packs my whole life. So from experience, I'm saying if you're willing to spend $1,500 for the thrill of hunting it, just buy the card. So that's my opinion. I've personally recently I've seen friends of mine pull OP05 boxes, and even at like a really good price, like $125 a box, even at that price, they got back like nothing. They got back nothing from it. Maybe like $20 in cards. And I've been seeing that everywhere. Like even if I observe like at a card shop or something, when someone's ripping packs and shit, it's a bad return right now. It's a really bad return. This is like the one set right now that I think I would not tell anyone. Like personally, like I'm not telling anyone how to live their life or how to spend their money. I'm just saying personally, I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not doing it. It's a messed up set. Like a really messed up set. You pull an alt art ulti or some shit, or like a alt art law, like not the manga, bro. That shit is $3, bro, and that's a hit. It counts as a hit. I was actually talking to my boy this morning about how I don't like mapping boxes. I think that it should just be truly random. It should be possible that you could rip a shitload of boxes and get nothing, and it should be possible that you can rip a shitload of boxes and get like 3 mangas. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like limiting the box to 4 hits max, and then a lot of the times it's just 2. It's like it opens up that door for dead packs as well, right? Like people who hit their 2 hits early or something, they just call it, sell the packs. It's just it's not a friendly system. Oda signature stamped. To me, this is probably the best chase card to scoop. It's also dirt cheap. 1300 for this card is dirt cheap. This card will one day, in my opinion, will be worth a lot. It will be worth a lot, especially because unless they do another signature, this is kind of like a one of its kind right now. You know, never say never with TCGs, with corporate greed. You know, I don't put anything past anyone, but for right now, it's also the only card that's not getting a reprint. Once this OP05 wave is out of circulation, I feel like that card is gonna go up the most. So I don't really like look at these 860 for a case of OP06. Like the downfall of OP06 needs to be studied because it's such a good set. In hindsight, it's such a nice set. There's so many cool, good cards in there. That boy Ace 750. This is a lightly played 750. Calm. I'm curious as to what everyone else thinks, but what do you guys think should be the average price of a manga? To me, I kind of feel like anywhere from 5 to 7 for like an ultimate chase card that you would have to rip like thousands of dollars in boxes for. I think 5 to 7 is pretty calm. But I could be wrong. That could be too much. You know, prices go down. I'm in the rabbit hole, guys. I'm gonna have to just buy more because if you already bought high, you can't just sell. You know, you gotta buy more. I just feel like that's a rule of thumb. So the law 6 calm. You know, this Zoro dropping down so much kind of is heartbreaking. I did pay the high for him. It was kind of back in a time where around 900 to 1,000 for a manga was like kind of normal. So I don't know if this will go back up or not. I actually recently traded this one. I had them all graded. I recently traded the Zoro and this Chopper for a Serial Shanks. I added cash, of course, but this Chopper is holding his value relatively well. I still need to pick up a Eustace Kid. Yeah, these are like all to me like common prices. This Treasure Cup Yamato, it doesn't really have any sales. I don't know how to gauge these prize cards sometimes. To me, 400 seems like a more appropriate price for her. This Boa, really good price. She's also not getting reprinted, so I would say it's a really good price to scoop her. Sabo to me is like one of the more weirder prices, and the reason being that this is, out of all the mangas, this is the most playable card. It's an absolute staple in most 90% of black decks. I feel like you can not run him in Lucci, but it's always going to be better if you do. And when I say run him, I mean like at a full 4 of, right? But he's pretty much like a staple. He needs to be 4 in every deck. And I don't think OP04 even really got reprinted like that. It's one of the ones less in circulation. So the fact that this is the cheaper one kind of goes to show the more demand there is for something, the lower the price could get. Because like I said, if people are buying this card at a high volume to play, then it is, let me gather my thoughts, then the price will go lower. Even if there's less in circulation, the price might get lower just from the sheer amount of trades. Now, I'm not an expert in trading or anything. That's just kind of what I've noticed with playable cards. But you would also think, by the same token, that because it's the most playable manga, right, its price should be higher. Who knows? There's also less copies of like mintier versions of this card out there. I feel like having a 10 or something probably means more because everyone's playing this card. And by everyone, I mean like that one guy at my locals. But I'm sure people do it. I'm sure it's a thing. By the way, that Zoro manga is also extremely playable. This card is just such a crutch because it doesn't have any on-play effects. But if it lives to the next turn, you are probably going to win. Even if you don't win the next turn, you'll waste enough resources from your opponent to eventually win. Right? So that card is more of a 2 of, in my opinion. Just the Sogeking Usopp manga art. I think this card should be like $50, to be honest. This card is pure shit. The character is pure shit. Absolutely hate Usopp, to be honest. I've just never... Some people are really big fans of Usopp, and I've never understood it. The dude has no swag, right? The dude is a liar. He has no powers. Like, fine, maybe, right? Like, that can be argued. I don't want to talk about One Piece spoilers right now. It's a different type of video. But it's like, he just does not do it for me. And the price reflects that. I think nobody really wants him. You know, if everyone was that much of a Usopp fan as they claim, this card's sales would reflect it. This is such a good hold. This blue Dofi, it's just been steady up. I kind of wanted this card. I'll probably scoop it at some point. Honestly, in order to avoid going down the rabbit hole, I limited my collection to extreme chase cards or waifus only for the time being. So that's where I'm sticking with. And Romance Dawn being $226 a box, it's great. I don't think I've ever seen Romance Dawn in the hundreds in a long time. I am creeping on one of these. I need a blue bottom for my sealed collection in some capacity at some point. Okay. All right, we're going to hit our hard stop soon. And then I guess I'll do a part 2 at some point, maybe from the cards onwards in a week or something. We won't talk about the expensive ones that time, but this is just high, up, down, high to low. So this card, a lot of people were getting scared that it went under $100 when, logistically speaking, if it cost $150 subscription, it should have never gone under $150. But I'm pretty sure it was all of the people who got the card from their PSA subscription that don't care about One Piece or that don't care about the cards and like shit like that. But one would argue, if you have a PSA membership pre-existing, you would care about this anyway. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people sold it, but I kind of knew that it was going to settle around this price once all those people have sold it. To be honest, this is one of the only arts in the game with all of the Straw Hats in one picture. It's a Luffy leader that has a lot of playability in the right meta, and he's played now. He could probably be played in the future. So this card should only go up. Unless they find a way to reprint it, which would make no sense, this card should only go up. This Nami card is like withstood the sands of time, because not just the fact that it's the first alt Nami and it's from OP01, the art is really amazing, right? Am I right? So this price, this card has not sunk to a comfortable price ever. Before it was really bad, right? It was like a $300 card for a really long time. But for this card to, in the era of absolutely reprinting everything to the mud, still being 180, still being a card that is not at a comfortable number even for myself to buy, right? This card is a very safe bet, I think. If you wanted to like collect have a play set of these, whether it is to play or, to have long term, I think this card is like gold. It's guaranteed bread, and so is this one. I know OP03 didn't really get reprinted, like I was saying before, but this is also a leader that is still seeing play to this day, is still seeing wins to this day. And by the play style of the deck, it might always be a deck that people will play. So this leader, I think, is safe as well. Like, this leader is not going to go any lower. I don't see it going sub $100, even sub 150. What we got next? What we got? Onami SP, no shock there, right? I feel like the Eustace Kid SP from OP07 should also be in this price range. I think eventually it will be. If Law doesn't get banned, especially the ban news has kind of dropped the prices of a lot of the cards that are played. This card I actually just scooped for 120 2 weeks ago. I guess when the prices were still like here, but this is a card that's not like really in circulation. That's why I scooped it. Anytime it's a championship card, event card, prize card, I don't think you'll really be seeing it too often, so that's good. It's Rebecca SP. I don't understand why this card is so expensive. Her pull rates must have just been scarce because everything from OP06 is down. Yeah, this card is playable, but it's not like that, you know? So even if you add the waifu tax, even if you add the playability and the rarity, it's this price at this point in the game doesn't make sense. So unless she gets banned, she'll probably only go up. I recently scooped this for... No, I didn't scoop this. My boy pulled it, and I bought it off him. Slightly lower price than this, but I'm kind of scheming on another one this weekend, and I'm going to try to finesse this last sold price to negotiate my price, right? You can do that sometimes. Because this guy Los Angeles Cards is ruining it for me right now. But I think that boa might be one of the prettiest cards. It's an SP. I have one, and I just like it just doesn't feel like it's enough. Damn, we're at 22 minutes. All right, guys, I'm gonna hard stop it here because I don't want to like have the video get too long. But if you tuned in, I would be very eager for some feedback. I would like to know if you guys would maybe prefer some like slight music in the background. What you guys think about these reprints? What do you guys think about the ban, right? Like, we're like a week out. We're going to get the ban news. Kind of just curious, where's everyone at? Any of my Yu-Gi-Oh subscribers that are still here, are you guys still playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Or did you guys move on to One Piece or Digimon or Magic or, you know, so many other games that are circulating? Kind of curious about that. So, yeah. All right, boys. It's been real. And SladeTV out. Check me out on my other channels that I'm more active on, which is TikTok. That is Slade.tv or at Slade Trilson. Please try both. I don't know it off the top of my head. I gotta just maybe switch to one handle. And then my Instagram is Slade.pops with a Z. So check those out. And till next time, boys and girls.